September 1972. A masked terrorist stepped onto a balcony in Munich's Olympic Village. 2 Israeli athletes had already been murdered. Within 24 hours, after a botched rescue attempt by West German authorities, another 9 hostages and a policeman would be shot dead. Yet for the widows and children of the murdered athletes, the agony was not over.
Our daughter was 2 months old. I had to provide for my kids.
So shame on you, International Olympic Committee.
Their fight for justice would last half a century. I'm Eitan Smallman, and you're watching The Sunday View from the Jewish News. It's 50 years since 8 terrorists from the Palestinian group Black September stormed the accommodation of the Israeli Olympic team at Munich, beginning a hostage situation aired live across the globe. The event was supposed to be a chance for Germany to show a new face to the world, hosting an Olympics for the first time since the Nazi Games in Berlin in 1936. For Shaul Ladani, it could not have been more poignant. He had survived the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp as a child. He was now returning to Germany as a champion race walker, the only Holocaust survivor among the Israeli team.
We came to show the world, Germany and the world, look, in the World War II, you tried to eliminate us, 6 million of us you killed. We are still here and we are able to keep at the same level as the rest of the world. And we were proud to be there.
The gunman attacked apartments 1 and 3. Ladani was in apartment 2 and able to escape. Outside, he saw a Black September member talking to 4 unarmed guards, including a woman trying to persuade the gunman to let the Red Cross in.
She tried to convince him, and she said, "You should be humane." And the man besides me, only later we found out, the man beside me was the head of the terrorist groups named Issa. He replied, "The Jews are not human either."
For 5 decades, the victims' families have been fighting for what they see as justice for the 11, including for a minute's silence at an opening ceremony.
So shame on you, International Olympic Committee, because you have forsaken the 11 members of your Olympic family. You are discriminating against them only because they are Israelis and Jews.
That was 2012. The minute's silence was only granted after 49 years at the Tokyo Games last year.
We invite you to stand for this moment of silence.
Mokto.
The woman berating the Olympics chiefs was Anki Spitzer. She was 26 when her husband, Israeli fencing coach Andre, was shot dead. Their daughter, Anouk, was 2 months old. It's not just the Olympics committee who the families feel have let them down.
The last 50 years have been like they call a Via Dolorosa for us. The German authorities, they lied to us, they abused us, they humiliated us. They did everything in their power in order to get us out of the archives, not to give us information, so that all their mistakes, they had a lot of mistakes, a lot of mishandling, that they would never come to light.
The families hold the German government in large part responsible for the outcome, not just because of the bungled rescue, but because of the lax security that allowed the terrorists into the Olympic Village in the first place.
The lack of security at the Games in Munich wasn't an accident. It was really by design. It was because it was the first time that the Olympics and the Olympic movement had returned to Germany and to German soil since 1936 in Berlin. There was really a sense, one, of Germany coming back into the fold of sort of the personhood, the brotherhood of nations, but also this sense that the last time that the Olympics had been in Germany, there was a sense of police state, and there were references to brown shirts and black shirts, police forces and military with arms. So the idea of coming to Munich in 1972 and having it be something that represented anything other than the Nazi regime was important. It was critical. It was by the design of the organizers of those games.
The families wanted German accountability for what they saw as the arrogance and mistakes that led to the murders, including ignoring a tip-off 3 weeks before the attack, and for the cover-ups in the aftermath. They were making 3 demands before agreeing to attend any event on Munich soil.
First of all, you're going to make a public apology. The president of Germany, after 50 years, nobody took responsibility. Nobody said ever that they are sorry or something. You're going to make a public statement so the whole world will know how much you were responsible. The second demand was, we want all the archives to be open, everything. And we want a commission of German historians together with Israeli historians. And we said we want all this information to come out so that finally we will know that who made the mistakes, who lied to us all the time, and it will be recorded. And the third thing that we wanted, we said, we want also finally just compensation, financial compensation.
At the 11th hour, a deal was agreed, reportedly worth £24 million in compensation, along with a promise to declassify documents. A joint statement from the presidents of Germany and Israel said, "With this agreement, the German state acknowledges its responsibility and recognises the terrible suffering of the murdered and their families." Some have described Munich as the birth of modern terrorism, a moment when we realised that no global event was immune from being used as the stage for an atrocity.
There's another lesson, certainly in the power of sport, and that sport is more than just fun and games, or as people said around the 72 games. Sports came out of the toy department in 1972 in Munich.
For those who were there, the anniversary will be a chance to reflect on the power of sport and on how the next generation can move on from September 1972.
I hope that somehow sports will try to bring some type of peace to the world, although that's my optimistic wish, but I'm a skeptic.
Our daughter was 2 months old, When she went to first grade in school, there was no father to be there. When she graduated from high school, there was no father with her. I had to provide for my kids, by myself. I'm still working, because I cannot afford not to work. We had to leave our children. We had to spend our money to get to Germany and back, and to Germany to all these Olympics, to beg if they're going to have a minute of silence. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that. I want them to finally say, okay, let's just leave it. They opened the archives. They said they took responsibility. They gave us a just compensation. That's it. Of course, the loss will never leave me, but at least I would say to myself, it was not for nothing, the 50 years of abuse.